Let's talk about Ash Ketchum, and now we all know this character, and especially if you grew up in America in the late 90s, it was one of the first breakthrough animes in the West, and it was absolutely sensational. It also helped light the torch for a massive following of both anime and video games we see today in the Western Hemisphere. However, in this blaze of glory and nearly a quarter of a century later, there's one remained question that has never been answered. How is it that this legendary trainer is still 10 years of age? Alas, it's true. As of the release date of this video, he has been on 8 adventures spanning over 1,000 episodes and even more distance traveled by foot. He has caught at least 57 Pokemon, 47 of them being unique species. Seriously, I could keep going on and on about his accolades, but the more those add up, the less logic does. Besides, in a year's time, none of this could be possible. Could it? Well, the short answer is no, and it's simply not possible for anyone to complete all the things Ash has done in his career within a year. Even if we crunched the numbers and said that he did 2 episodes worth of events per day, excluding the days and nights that were visibly depicted on the shows, we'd still be left with more episodes than days in a year, so... However, I don't like the short answer. It's got too many numbers and it's kind of boring. So let's take the more ambiguous road and explore 3 theories as to why Ash has never aged. First, we have a rather touching story, and it's probably one of the most well-accepted theories as to why he never ages. In the very first episode, Ash, after fighting a tough battle, wakes up to see, well, Ho-Oh, and if you don't know this mythical Pokemon, it's generally a fire flying type Pokemon. In the anime Pokédex, a device used to identify all Pokemon, it could not identify, therefore it had no log, informing that there's still new Pokemon that need to be discovered, therefore reinforcing that it was potentially this legendary Pokemon. However, later on, we do find out that Ho is indeed the legendary Pokemon that we're thinking of, and it has a very interesting backstory. It's said that anyone who catches a glimpse of this Pokemon will have eternal happiness. So, with that being said, when Ash spotted the Pokemon, his eternal happiness at that time was wishing that his adventure would never end. Therefore, he never ages. I think this is a very sweet story, and honestly, it's the one that I could see being most probable. That being said, let's move on to a strong second contender. This one is a tone change from the last, and it's certainly one of the darker ones on this list, but not the darkest for some. So heading back to the first episode again, named I Choose You, where we met Ho-Oh, there is actually another theory that splits at the story at about the same exact time. This theory suggests that after the bike incident, Ash was actually thrown into a coma, so all events after that moment, including the seeing the Ho-Oh and all the other stuff that came after pretty much Pokemon, is actually a dream. This theory is certainly a darker one, but as they go into more detail, it kinda backs it up. How the tone of the rest of the series is entirely different than that of the first episode. It would also explain why Ash never ages, and why all the town's medical and police staff all are the exact same people. They're just fever dreams of the only officer and nurse he'd ever seen in his hometown. Furthermore, it gets even deeper, actually explaining that Ash's physique is how most of the people met in his journey are physical representations of his feelings. I won't go into it all because that kind of spoils it, but I will post a link to the theory in the description below. It is definitely an interesting read. This last theory is actually certainly one of the most far-fetched one. I actually included it because, well, how crazy it would have been if it were true. However, there are some holes in the theory that doesn't really hold up under scrutiny. This theory suggests that Ash, the lovable trainer who wants to catch them all, might not actually be talking about Pokemon. Ash could be referring to his unquenchable thirst for human souls. This theory compares Ash to a succubus. It's a demon or supernatural entity in folklore, generally in the form of a female. However, this version has a twist. This theory explains that Ash actually absorbs the life force of his companions to stay, well, forever young. And this would explain why so many new characters are introduced on a yearly basis. Then, the previous characters are normally never heard from again. However, like I said, this story kind of falls through whenever some of those characters start making cameos in the newer episodes, so maybe in the first couple seasons this could have been a strong theory, but not so much now. Well, there you have it, Sparks, and what theory did you like the most, and did I miss your favorite? Let me know in the comments below, and I'm sure to be able to cover them because there's just so many out there. If you liked the video, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button for more content similar to this. I do different things weekly, and I generally hold polls in my Discord, so we'd love to see you out there. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful evening. Terra out. Bye!